This is the Shine On You Crazy Daisy podcast, and I'm your host, Trudy Simmons from the Daisy Chain Group, providing platforms and opportunities for businesswomen to be seen and heard. This platform is for the women entrepreneurs that want to hear the real stories of what it takes to be yourself and run a business with all the different hats that you might have to wear. Come and join the Shine On You Crazy Daisy membership, offering online networking, co-working, collaboration and monthly masterclasses for you to grow your knowledge. Go to thedaisychaingroup.com for more information. These are the platforms to hear and share the stories of the tenacious, the rebellious, and the resilient women that are working towards the future that they build for themselves and their families. Hello and welcome to the Shine On You Crazy Daisy podcast. And today I am thrilled and excited to introduce you to Victoria Schofield from The Cup and Saucer. Victoria, tell us about your business.
Well, The Cup and Saucer is more or less what it says on the tin. It is an afternoon tea delivery service. No premises. So you put the order in, you say what you would like, obviously. So it's cake, jam, scones, cream, and then all lovely dainty sandwiches. They are all put onto the Victorian tea stands, as you would imagine, the 3 layers. And then I drive it to your house with all of the crockery or the linen, or to whichever house it needs to be delivered to. You eat it, you apply it to your face, and then I go back the next day and pick it all up. No washing up involved either.
Really?
So, and no washing up. It's all part of the service. You just put it all back into the hamper that all of the crockery comes in, and I take it away, and that's it. It's literally that simple.
Such a brilliant concept, and especially with lockdown and being able to give the gift to someone of having something like that delivered is just, and the fact that you picked it up and ran with it is amazing. But you were in book 2.
Yes.
And so you offered to do a chapter for this volume 4 of Shining You Crazy Daisy and came up with a different concept. So what made you think to do a Q&A, and who asked you the questions?
The idea of the Q&A was simply, I thought, well, I've already told my story in volume 2, which I thoroughly enjoyed doing. But I thought, well, I can't bore people with that again because nothing that significantly has changed in the last 4 months, And so I thought, well, what would I like to read? What would make me interested? And so suddenly, it I don't know how it came to me, but it just did. And then the more I thought about it, the more I thought, well, actually, it's probably a good thing for me to do, because when you work on your own, as opposed to if you're working in the corporate sector or even the public sector, you get appraisals each year, don't you? Or half year reviews or something. And then you are given goals and you're asked to assess what you think you've achieved or haven't achieved or where you can improve. So for me, this was kind of a tool to see what I had achieved, which I think is important, because you have to keep not challenging yourself, but I think you have to keep abreast of what you're doing and where you are. And so the people that I asked to do it, because I thought I could write my own questions, and I thought, well, that's pointless, I could just talk to myself in the shadows, get me nowhere. So I asked a variety of people. My husband came up with a couple to get me going. And then I asked a group of friends who we meet at probably once a year, but they come from very different backgrounds, professionally different backgrounds, age different backgrounds. And then I asked another couple of friends, one who knows me very well, one who I've become friendly with but doesn't know me. And so I wanted them I just said, ask me a question you'd like to know. And I also asked a couple of my girlfriends who have teenage daughters, because I thought getting that input about, if you were going to go out into the world, what would you want to know about it? And so that was it. That was the criteria, just a disparate group, and then picked what I could out of it that I thought would be the most useful.
I just thought it was so interesting, because reading the questions is one thing. But when we have to answer those questions from a place of, oh, this is being asked of me, like that appraisal feeling that you get in the middle and the end of the year, answering those questions from a place of, oh, this is my business that I'm answering on behalf of as much as myself.
Absolutely.
It does make you think differently and maybe bigger than you would have done before. And it opens up the possibilities because you're answering the questions. So I thought it was brilliant.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, it'll be it might work, it might not, we'll see.
What was your favourite question and why was it your favourite?
My favourite question was, what was your biggest fear? Which sounds odd because you'd have thought that would have been the oh my god moment, but it was a favourite question for the simple reason that I was able to be honest. I'm sorry, that's wrong. I was honest with all of the answers, but honest in the fact that I'd never actually identified that before, that my biggest fear was failure. I had never put that out there before. And when I sat down to write the answer, I thought the answer was going to be criticism of me by others. I honestly thought that was going to be the answer. And I sat down and suddenly I wrote failure. And I know that sounds a bit, maybe loopy-loop, I don't know. But I actually typed failure. And that was not going to be my answer to it. And then as soon as I put that out there and put it onto my screen, I thought, actually, yes, that is the biggest fear. So it's my favourite question because it was the best answer, because it was almost cathartic to be able to acknowledge that, yes, I am crippled by it at days, and other people might be. But if I was going to answer it honestly, that clearly was the honest answer. And it made me feel better the minute I'd done it, to be honest, just to say, yeah.
You are a brilliant writer, and reading the response to that question and the way that you have these interactions with your husband, and it was so funny to read, but it was so heartfelt and vulnerable at the same time. I really felt for you and him, to be honest.
To be honest, feel more for him. Feel he's very long suffering.
What my favourite question was about, did you miss being a litigation lawyer? Because it's just such a jump from being a litigation lawyer and being in the big city and being around that level of intelligence to running your own business, which is very different, by yourself, delivering afternoon teas that have such a heartfelt feeling behind them. And just the fact that you needed to answer that, I think for anybody that comes from corporate and has to reflect on why they're doing what they're doing, it makes sense for what you're doing now.
Well, that was actually Mark's question, so Mr. Schofield's question, and obviously I had to mix and match them all in, as I said, but that was Mark's question, and I think that actually made it more poignant because maybe he was asking me the question as well from a personal point of view. He's actually asking me to identify it, so that made it even, I don't know if poignant's the right word, but it made it more relevant, I think, because maybe he was asking me that, and I would have given him the same answer had he asked me it anyway. And the answer was honest. I don't miss it. Obviously, it's different. Obviously it is. I used to throw lawsuits at people. Now I throw scones at them. So it's a tiny bit different. And I used to wear a suit. Now I'm just covered in flour most of the time. But it's different. Of course, it's different. But it doesn't mean it's any less exciting or terrifying or something to be less proud of. I think to a certain extent, something to be more proud of, because it's me doing it for me.
Well, and one of my other questions was what you've learned writing volume 2 and volume 4. And the reason that I was wondering about that is because there's been 4.5 months in between those two books. And that's a long time in a business that's just starting out. So I did wonder whether you had seen and felt any differences over that time, apart from the fact that your dad has bought every copy of the book that's available and knows every page number.
I was to say, if you brush past him, he'll give you a copy with a bookmark at page 170. Well, if you meet him, we'll give you one, and you're the publisher of it. Yeah, truly, have one of these. You'll like it.
Brilliant.
I think. Again, I was thinking about this. I think it's what I have learned is to heed my own advice. It's one thing writing it down and saying to people, this is what I've learned, and this is what I think I should be doing. This is what I think you should be doing. But it's very easy to forget that you think this is what you should be doing, and this is how you should be doing it. And I'm not telling anybody how to do it. I'm just saying this is what I've learned. So I keep kind of going back to it and thinking, what did you say? What did you say you other people should be doing to cope with it? So I've learned that. I've learned to heed my own advice. I've also learned how to be a little bit proud, because the response to the book from people was quite overwhelming. Not just family and friends, but but people who had read it, not only just within the group that obviously we're in, but people that I've never met before were messaging me and saying, "Oh, I loved it."
Wow.
And I think I don't think I'd even lost sight of it. I didn't ever thought about the fact that I'd actually achieved something, and people were proud of what I've achieved. Because for me, it was just, I came up with the idea, I did it, and I do it. And I never really stopped and took any breath about whether it was achievement or not, because I don't see it as an achievement. I just see it as, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so I think I've learned to have some pride in it as well.
Love that.
We've got there eventually.
If there was one lesson that you've learned that you want every entrepreneur to know, what would it be?
I'm so sorry, that was gone off. I think everybody needs to learn how to hold on. And that's a phrase that I think I've put, well, I know I've put into the chapter that I've just done for volume 4. And it's something that I hear myself saying to people if they're going through an emotional thing or even a business thing, and they're asking, hold on, because if you give up, if you look back, it probably will just be a knee-jerk reaction to an emotion or a circumstance, or your reaction to a circumstance. I'm doing the hand jazz things again. I'm useless at that. Sorry, I'm still. So hold on, learn how to hold on, hold your nerve, because if you think, oh, right, that's it and it's over, and do my usual, dramatic dying routine on the landing, it's a waste of your energy. So just hold on, it will be okay. If you've got a product that is a good product and you work hard for it to be a good product, it might be a bad day, it might be a bad week, it could even be a bad month, but it will come back. But you really do have to just cling on there for a bit. And that would be the lesson.
Yeah, I think that everybody at some stage needs to hear that. And when we have those really bad days, it is remembering somewhere in your brain that tomorrow's a new day. And as cliche as that is, sometimes it's so hard to remember those things. And just have it written somewhere. Hold on. Just don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. And that's brilliant. Thank you.
I'm going to have it put on t-shirts.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't write "hold on" across your chest.
Maybe just on the back. I don't know. It's a viable option for another business, maybe.
Oh my goodness.
I won't be invited back. I know.
What's your favourite piece of business software?
Well, it's a new one that my accountant, Sophie Bowman, advised me for, because I stacked it up to her house with a great big plastic box, and I swear it probably had about 2,000 receipts in, and I know because I had to organise them all into date order and all the rest of it, because my accounts department up until that point had literally just been that box. And Mark used to say, "You put it out in the accounts department." I said, "Toss it in and put it down." But because I do daily shopping, I have to get fresh bread or ham or whatever. And so it was just raging out of control. And I swore blind, I am never doing this again. So she told me about this thing, and it's DEXT, D-E-X-T. And literally, you have the app on your phone, and every receipt you have, you just take a picture of it, and then you link it into your account. So you don't even have to keep the paper copy, because it all goes up into what I believe is the cloud. I don't know why I'm doing that, because people know where clouds are. But and then it's there and it's recorded, and then you can give your accountant or whoever access to that account, so they can then start reshuffling it the way they need to be able to see it, to the account at the end of the year. And I just think that then you can do it immediately, as opposed to, you don't even have to get to the end of the day. You can walk out of the shop and take a picture in the high street of it, and then that's it, it's done. It's
putting these pieces of software in front of people can be the revolutionary thing that gives them the ability to have a better system. DEXT, D-E-X-T. Take photos of your receipt and it goes straight to your accounting software. Boom. Victoria, a pleasure as always. Thank you so much for your brilliance. An Audience with Victoria is the name of your chapter. And I look forward to you being in the next 5 books.
Well, lovely. Well, if I'm ever allowed back, I promise I won't do the t-shirts.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Trudy. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, please like the video and click the subscribe button for this channel for more inspiration. If you're a businesswoman looking for that community that will support you and lift you up, come and join the Shine On You Crazy Daisy membership, offering online networking, co-working, collaboration and monthly masterclasses to grow your knowledge. Go to thedaisychaingroup.com for more information. And for even more inspiration, please go to the link under the video and get your copy of the Shine On You Crazy Daisy series of books with inspirational and motivating stories from businesswomen around the world.